Hello, my friends. Welcome to Unlock the Work Success Secrets of Your Design with Jovian Archive, home of the Human Design System. As we move through today's course, you will find a lot of information that may seem new to you. As you engage with the material, remember you always have access to the forum, our forms, as well as live coaching, if it is correct for you to engage with this material in such a way. So, welcome to Unlock the Work Success Secrets in Your Design. We are going to be talking about knowing your personal design. Remember to access mybodygraph.com for all of the ways that you are here to make decisions that you can trust in accordance with your human design. And as we work through the Unlock Your Work Success Secrets, remember that this is for your personal use only. Please refrain from attempting to use this information with others unless you have been certified by one of the international human design schools, licensed and accredited institutions in using this material. So please do enjoy this recording. Welcome to Unlock the Work Success Secrets of Your Solo Design. As we engage with the material, remember this is one of just the first 5 lessons on how you are here to work successfully in any different kind of personal engagement with your career and your business. In class 1 today, we're talking about working solo. In the following weeks, we'll talk about partnerships, small groups, large groups, in the following weeks, we will enjoy working with partnerships, small groups, large groups, and also add in some information about hybrid working and remote working and answer some of the most commonly asked questions when it comes to working on your own and in your own aura. As we engage with this material, remember the most important thing is it is key for you to follow your human design strategy and honoring yourself as your personal authority. The time for authorities outside of ourselves is over. And in the 4 work success situations, in order for you to engage with this material successfully, it is important that you understand your own human design. So again, remember to refer back to Maya Mechanics. So again, remember to refer back to mybodygraph.com if you are having trouble with working through how you are here to make a correct decision. Now, when we come to this area of the knowledge, working correctly with your career and in your business, there are 4 basic ways that we are going to work in person and in aura. It's either a solo, partnership, small group, and large group. And it's key that you use the keys to your genetic potential to unlock your own personal genetic potential and to engage with unlocking the secret success elements of your career and business design. Your human design holds so many incredible keys for you, and I'm excited that you're here and that you're ready to do the work. Let's talk about how learning this information can help protect you. It's important that you can see from your human design where you have openness in your design, where there are places that you're flexible and fluid and you're learning about life. Also, in that openness, what can happen is sometimes we get lost or stuck or confused or even abused relative to our mind making decisions rather than our form and trusting the body, this vehicle that is the life experience that you are having. Learning this helps protect you because it keeps you protected from any of the places where your mind can get caught up in the negative and false belief systems, those places that are holding you back from fulfilling your purpose, your life purpose and fulfillment, especially when it comes to career and business. So in this world, there is no end to hierarchy. There are always going to be control mechanisms from the standpoint of people wanting to tell you what to do. And in this new era, it's about letting go of other people telling you what to do and trusting yourself to be your own authority. So as we engage with this material in this particular module, you're going to find in part 1, we talk about your career type. And in part 2, we talk about definition. And in part 3, we're going to consider other factors that are in your natal design so that you can discover what to experiment with to unlock your personal career and business potential. So, starting with type. It's important that we understand there are 4 basic vehicles, and in these basic configurations of what it means to be human, each of us has a very different role to play. So again, in this current era where we're moving from a background frequency shift where it's about trusting authorities outside of you, and into the cross of the sleeping phoenix from 2027 to 2439, it's important that we find our own personal self-empowerment. And that means shucking or letting go of any of the false and negative constructs that are keeping you back or holding you back from doing what it is that you're passionate about, that brings you abundance, that makes life feel empowering, that makes life feel sweet, satisfying, peaceful, or successful, as well as surprising in this life. So the definition is really key when it comes to understanding how you are defined in your career and human design, as well as what's going on in the background frequency. Remember this shift. Here is the shift of the background frequency. And you can see, if you know your human design BodyGraph circuitry, that it really is about empowering oneself. So regardless of whether you're single, split, triple, quadruple, or have no definition, accordingly to the new era and the new age, it's about finding your own self-empowerment and being busy doing what you love so that the right level of abundance will flow into your life. When we talk about definition, we're looking now at how we can see in the body graph, so please pull out your body graph, how we can see whether or not we have definition in our design. And so you can see over here on the left-hand side, single definition means there are a single, so as you can see, here in this area of our career and business transformation and empowerment. As you can see, here we have a single definition over on the left-hand side. We have basic split, 2 islands of definition, so to speak, that are separated from each other. We have a triple split where we have 3 islands of definition that are separated from each other, as well as quadruple split, 4 islands of definition that are separated from each other. Finally, we have no definition within the natal design or body graph. And each one of these ways that definition can show up in our design equates to a different kind of information assimilation and processing when it comes to taking in life experience and learning about life. So as we look at the 4 work situations, these comparative analysis, as Ra would call it, it's important that we understand anybody can work in any environment, but some of us are going to feel more comfortable versus others who might feel less comfortable. And that's the thing that we really want to take a look at over these next few weeks so that you can get more of an idea of what to experiment with and how to set yourself up for success. So let's take a look at workplace success. When it comes to workplace success, it's important that we first, again, look at type, because different types are going to feel more comfortable or less comfortable working solo versus partnership versus small group, as well as large group. And we'll get to that in the next module. And we will get to that in the next module. First, let's take a look at solo when it comes to your human design aura type. Because if we focus on one work success situation at a time, you will have in this step-by-step process, as we go through all of the material that Uru Hu laid out for us, we will have the opportunity to answer all of your questions as they come up. So let's take a look at determining your comfort level when it comes to working solo. Remember, anybody can work in any situation. However, when it comes to deciding to go solo, your strategy and authority is the ultimate deciding factor and your best tool when it comes to making a decision for yourself that you can trust. So let's start with step 1, career type. When we look at your form, this body, this vehicle, which is the life, the aura type is the specific way that your energy is designed to vibrate, to resonate, to harmonize, and to engage with the outside world. It is your aura that builds this body, the way that you're designed to be able to interact with others. So if we take a look first at the manifester, manifestors are the one who are here. So if we take a look at the manifester, manifestors are the one who So if we take a look at the manifester, first, manifestors are here to get the ball rolling. Just think about Uru Hu and how he created the human design system and laid out the foundation of this system in order that we can experiment with its tenets. Generators are the ones who are here to move processes along as far as the energetic availability to respond to what has gotten started by the manifestors. And when we look at projectors, projectors are here to advise and guide the process by seeing big picture view and be the advisors who can guide. We look at reflectors. Reflectors are here to reflect upon and tell everyone how well things are going by simply being the barometer of whatever community they happen to be a part of. You can also talk about work environment or whatever situation they find themselves in. So approximately across the board, you're going to see that reflectors are the less Now, when it comes to how many people are on this planet, of course, we have all different kinds of subtypes relative to these 4 basic types. But you'll see that the vast majority are generative. The generators, the manifesting generators who are here to build our world. And then we see the projectors, the ones who are here to advise and guide the process, are approximately 20%. And then we have manifestors who are said to be on the rise as far as more of them being born nowadays. And then we have manifestors who are said to be on the rise, according to Ra, as far as more being born nowadays. And then we have our reflectors, approximately 1.5% of the population. So manifestors, again, are here to initiate. Generators are here to respond. Projectors are here to be guides, and reflectors are here to reflect. When it comes to the generator type, we'll start with you first because you are the most plentiful, and it is very important that you understand who you are for yourself. Now, when it comes to your considerations or factors for going solo, remember this has to come through your availability to respond, that this is something that engages your life force energy so that you can do the work in a satisfying way. A signpost of being off track is that you're frustrated. You feel like you aren't able to move the needle because you're spinning your wheels or you're digging yourself into a further, more frustrating hole in the ground. And we want to make sure that you get yourself out of that. So instead of continuing on whatever track it is that's frustrating you, that's a signpost to stop. Come back to your decision-making process, which means waiting for the availability of the responsive energy inside of you And then further still, if you are emotional, for the emotional clarity about which path to take or which direction to pivot to, if that is correct for you. So your aura type is generative. You're always going to have that red square down at the bottom in your body graph defined. And what that means is this is available for you, available energy for you to be able to generate life. Whether you're going to generate life from a space of being able to build the Maya through your mind, through form, through relationships or transformation, the way that it is done is that you are here to be who you are for yourself first and not for anybody else. So when it comes to the generative auric frequency and about going solo, the most important thing when it comes to being a generator is that you need that interaction to interface so that you can have things to respond to. The interaction does not have to come from people. It can come from anything that you physically respond to, that is physically in your field or your presence. You can have that empowerment of knowing that you're always responding. Now, for the projector aura type, this projector, which is designed to focus and penetrate, particularly one person at a time, we're looking at you when it comes to going solo, really needing to factor in whether or not this is the most productive engagement for you to have, because the way that you're here to have success is to make sure that you are advising and guiding the process through your system's mastery. This is the way that recognition works and the way that success is going to come. So when you're looking down at your body graph, you need to make sure that, of course, relative to what you recognize, that you're coming from an authentic place. And your recognition capacity comes from those projected channels inside of your design. So you can see on the left and the right-hand side here, we have two different ways that these projected channels can show up without the energy reaching the throat center. The moment that the energy reaches the throat center, we have a very different kind of human being. So projectors are here to be guides, and they are here to work best one person at a time. They are the ones who are designed to be the alpha, as Ra would say. And they are an alpha through a chain of command from outside the physical grouping of whatever group they happen to be a part of. So the only way that this works for the projector is first master a system, either a system of knowledge or a system of however it is that things are done. So you have to work your way up through the ranks to learn the foundations of that business or that career or that system. And then when it comes to being in charge, you must be able to advise, lead, or guide the process, depending on how you're configured, through a chain of command. So it's not about you being in the business physically day in and day out, but coming from a place of authenticity. If it's solo for you that you decide to go with because it's correct for you to do so, you must ensure that your energy, your aura is protected. And that means working with one person at a time when it comes to delegating, managing, leading, advising, or guiding. Okay, so now next, as an overview and a reminder of how types work, manifestors are here to get the ball rolling, and they're here to make an impact. Oftentimes, what you'll find is they prefer to go solo. So they may work very well solo. They may have a lot of energy for doing their own thing and being their own boss or being in charge. When it comes to feeling comfortable, and manifestor, who is manifesting, their aura type manifesting, is here to make sure that they have freedom of action. In order to engage freedom of action in their design and to have freedom of action, they need to keep people informed of whatever it is that they are doing that may impact the other person as well. So freedom of action is your keynote so that you can manifest in peace. It is in the information that you pass on to others that can help reduce the anger in your impact from the others, because now it's like you've paved the way for your impact to be felt, your intentionality to be seen before that density of your auric impact may hit that other person and land uncomfortably. So the pure manifesting career design will see energy reaching directly up to the communication of the throat center. These are the primary traits of being able to take action. As long as we don't have the sacral center defined, then we have a manifesting design. However it is that that energy, any one of these three motor functions can reach up to the throat. And that is why when you look down at a body graph and you can see these alternate routes for the energy to reach the throat, you also have a manifesting design, as long as the energy doesn't touch that sacral center. So now we're going to shift gears into the reflector, because the reflector has this capability of also working outside of the general auric field like the manifester. And yet that may not feel productive or comfortable for them for long periods of time. So when it comes to going solo as a reflector, remember, you're here to enliven and uplift the energy of whatever you are a part of, whatever group you are a part of. For you, going solo has to include that you have the capability of having freedom as well, the freedom of being able to facilitate. So your reflective nature is lunar. You are a lunar being. All the rest of the types are solar. That means their purpose shines through them. But for you, you are reflective, and being able to have the time of the month in order to process and in order to sense and know what is correct for you is really critical when it comes to going solo. And remember, this should not be something that you initiate from your mental process. It has to come through life initiating you, and then you feeling through it over your lunar cycle so that you know whether or not it's correct for you to go solo. So manifestors are more comfortable going solo in general. Generators may be less comfortable going solo. Projectors are definitely less productive. They may be comfortable, they may not. It depends on other factors within the career design. And also with the reflector, it can feel uncomfortable because you may not have enough engagement with life sitting alone in your own aura day after day after day. So again, remember, when we're talking about the success situations of looking at which situation is going to be right for you, you have to come to this through being your own authority. And that means engaging with your human design strategy and honoring only you yourself as your own authority. This is about the end of dependencies. Stop looking outside of yourself for someone else to tell you what to do, and instead come from your own intrinsic truth and an authentic place. Okay, so work success secrets solo, we just covered type. Now it's time to move on to definition. Welcome back to Work Success Secrets Solo. It's time to talk about definition. Now, when we talk about definition, what we're really talking about is how you are designed to interface with others and to process information. So processing information is a really critical factor to working successfully. Ross says, quote, "What we have been able to learn from the revealed mechanics is an understanding of how we can navigate on this plane in such a way that we get to live out our true potential, the potential of the form, the potential of our vehicles, because it is the vehicle that is the life. It is the vehicle that empowers this life force. When you're operating correctly, what you're doing is enriching the potential of this holistic being, because you bring out the essence of yourself. It's there in the channel." Welcome back to Work Success Secrets. Time to talk about solo in context with definition, the life force within the channels, or if you don't have any channels, how are you here to process information? It's very important that we look at this from the perspective of us being able to integrate information from life and from people. So how are you processing or assimilating information in the work context? Quote, from The Life Force, The Channels by Uru Hu. What we have been able to learn from the revealed mechanics is an understanding of how we can navigate on this plane in such a way that we get to live out our true potential, the potential of the form, the potential of our vehicles, because it is the vehicle that is the life. It is the vehicle that empowers this life force. When you are operating correctly, what you're doing is enriching the potential of this holistic being because you bring out the essence of yourself. It's there in the channel. So when we look at the configurations of how we can process or use information and assimilate it within our own design, we're really looking at the genetic potentials within our natal design. That natal design definition does not change the entire life that you live. It is important that as we look at definition, you understand yours, how it's reliable and trustworthy and fixed, and how it is here to function correctly, optimally on this material plane. So we look at single definition, basic split definition, triple split definition, quadruple split definition, as well as no definition when it comes to learning to live this element of the human design system. So as a single definition, when you're working solo, it's critical and key that you look at your way intrinsically, not just from this place, but also from type as well as other factors. Now, if we look at this one as an example, you're seeing somebody who has strong individuality. So that shows that they may very well do well solo, besides the fact that they're single definition, as well as you're looking at somebody who has a large as well as small group strength. That's the only place in the body graph where this happens, in this strength that is about the beat, a design of being a keeper of the keys. In small business, it's going to bring other keynotes, as well as in large business, other keynotes as well. This particular person may do very well as an alpha or a leader, so long as they are able to have autonomy, if it's correct for them, accordingly with the nature of what it is that they're here for. Now, solo, depending on wherever it is that you find these areas of definition that are continually and continuously connected to each other, however many different channels you have. So long as that you are single definition, you actually may work very well solo, but definitely there are other factors involved. When you look at a basic split, what you're looking at are two aspects at play. And when we have these two aspects at play, you're looking at somebody who may not feel comfortable solo because there are two aspects at play. And so they may need some regular engagement with others in order to feel like it is correct for them to have their own thing going on. So as an example, you're taking a look at these two channels. One's a small group channel and one's a large group channel. So, and again, individual. So you're looking at different factors that might affect the person's comfort within the solo context of working alone, on one's own, in one's own aura. Triple split definition people, when working solo, are actually quite nicely built for it, so long as they have the capability to have freedom of movement, because triple splits are designed to synthesize large amounts of information. And in these large amounts of information that they may assimilate from their regular interaction with others, they may have this more comfort level in working independently all on their own through their own agency. And in this case, you can see in response. We have a couple of large group channels. They're all individual. And this means then that this person might work much better on their own and not locked into a specific group, particularly a small group. This might feel very uncomfortable for this person in working on their own and of their own nature and having their own decision-making process move them. Quadruple split definition solo, you're looking at somebody who has 4 different parts at play now. These are the people who have much more of an engagement with life that is very fixed, or you could say rigid, not flexible when it comes to working with others. And so in some respects, people who are quadruple split may very well work very well solo. It may be just easier for them to work solo. But of course, it has to come through their decision-making strategy. In this case, in response with emotional clarity. What you're looking at here with reflectors is no definition. That means then when you're working solo, it may feel like you don't have enough to engage with if that goes on for a very long period of time. So working independently outside of anybody else's auric frequency may not feel as life-giving or sustainable when it comes to doing your career or having whatever work you do be productive and fulfilling for you. So when we look at information assimilation, the single definition is independent, kind of like they are their own thing and they don't need an other in order to process and assimilate information. A collaborative being, meaning a basic split being, is here to collaborate with others. Oftentimes it could be partnership, or as you can see here, we have small and large groups, so long as that person is entering into that engagement accordingly with their decision-making strategy and honoring themselves as their own authority. Only they can make the decision. Only they can make the decision. Then we have synthesizing, and synthesizing when it comes to this process of factoring in the 3 different parts at play, information being synthesized within one's own nature of being, it means that they're going to have the freedom to move, the freedom to assimilate large amounts of information. And then with the subjective, we're looking at people who actually have the capability of potentially collaborating with 2 different people in order that they have the information that works with them, and working solo, if they can't have that, may feel easier at times, because then it's not about engaging with others in such a way that they feel uncomfortable, but that they have their own autonomy, because they're quite subjective and other people have to flex or bend to them. They can't flex or bend to other people. So sometimes it's just simpler working solo. Okay. Now, objective when it comes to information assimilation and processing. Information coming in, because a reflector, of course, on the right-hand side, we have somebody who their design is reflective in nature. The reflective having no specific life force within their channel construct, because we have an open that is resistant and sampling kind of aura. You're looking at somebody who may be able to work solo, and yet because they are here to enlighten and enliven and uplift, they may not feel like they're really feeling fulfilled alone in their own aura day after day after day. All right. So when it comes to information assimilation processing, again, no definition. These are people who are assimilating things objectively. Quadruple split definition. These are people who may be very subjective in their nature. Triple split definition. They are here to be synthesizing. Basic split definition are here to collaborate with others. An independent single definition may work very well alone. But again, this has to be taken into context accordingly with your human design and all of the factors inside of your natal design. So in looking at work success secrets solo with definition, Single definition, we're looking at people who can work well. Triples can also work well. Quadruples may work well. No definition might work. And split definition may be able. So I'm a basic split definition as an example. I have other strong factors in my design that we'll look at in part 3 of this training in order to help you engage with whether or not it's correct for you to work solo, as I am most of the day. Now, it's time for other factors. Now it's time for other factors. Welcome back to Work Success Secrets Solo. It's time for step 3. We're looking at other factors within your career design. So in step 3, other factors, we have to take into account considerable aspects, life aspects of your design that are designed to be different. As an example, integration channel people may work very well solo. It is part of their nature to be able to be self-empowered. Particularly when you're looking at somebody's design, this is one channel construct when you see all of those gates, as well as sub-channel constructs that really speak to this person having an independent nature. So if you have an integration channel within your natal design, it's important to factor that in and to experiment with seeing whether or not solo works well for you when it's right for you to do so. When you see a lot of individual circuitry, as you can see in this person's design, you're looking at somebody who may work well solo, as well as it may be harder for them to work with others because there's a lot of strong independence built into somebody who has individual circuitry. So they may not be able to listen well and they kind of just do their own thing rather than playing, let's say, to other people. They have their own independence when it comes to individual circuitry. So they might work well solo. Now, when you look down at somebody's design, your design, if you see this particular gate right here in the heart center, this is somebody who also may factor into their work, working all on their own, being their own boss, doing their own thing, being in charge of how they make their money. This is a very important factor to consider when it comes to working independently and doing your own thing. So when we look at these different designs, we're going to factor in not only we see a basic split here on the left, we also see a basic split here on the right, but as far as the kind of split, they are not the same and they are not equal. So other factors when it comes to looking at the holistic picture and view, that's what we're going to take a look at when you come to coaching or when you ask questions about your design, however it is correct for you to engage with the live component of this particular course if it's right for you to do so. Now, another thing that we want to look at, gate 1, line 4, aloneness as the medium of creativity is how it reads. We're looking at somebody who their creative influence must be developed outside of other people's engagement with them or interference with them. They may very well like working solo. So just to factor that in, if you happen to have one of these, it can be an important consideration. Now, when we're looking at the design, remember, everybody is unique. All different ways of working can work, but it is the very nature of you being your own authority that is going to show to you, prove to you, validate for you how well this information works in your own life. Aloneness gates are another factor that we want to take into consideration. That is the gates 33, 12, and 40. Each one of these gates are going to require time alone. So time to retreat in order to reflect, time to have their own space and place their own sovereignty, or times when they just don't feel like they're wanting to be social, wanting to have their own processing time or independent time alone, because it is correct for them to do so. One of the things that I find so critical and key to understand, especially, is that when you're looking at a body graph, every single type is going to show up uniquely. You cannot homogenize this. It has to come through different set and settings and life processes. Your life work changes over your lifetime. So remember, none of this is absolutely set in stone. Sometimes we are learning through our life cycles, different ways and experiences are going to teach us something about what it is to be ourselves in relational context to others. So as an example, over here on the left-hand side, you're looking at somebody who has some strong need for individuality and alone time, lots of alone time there for this one. Although they will, in order to be productive and in order to guide or advise people, they will need to factor in auric contact or connection of some kind. Otherwise, if you're a projector like me, you know what this feels like. It feels like you need to get some energy, and so it's time to move out from just being at home alone in your own aura, or in the office in your own aura. You need some engagement. So here on this side, we're looking at somebody who's a manifested design, not a projected design. And the manifested design with some strong, not only individuality, but also their own energetic impetus to be in charge and to be in control. You're looking at strong need for their own process. What you're looking at is somebody who has a strong independence, single definition, as well as the activity of the aloneness gates. Potentially they might have a 1.4 in there. And this is somebody who has to have freedom of action. And oftentimes that comes very well when you're working solo. It's part of your solo nature to have your sovereignty and be independent when you have a design like this. Okay, now that is enough for working success secrets and solo as an introduction to first type, definition, and other factors. Remember, when it comes to you being your own authority, this is about following your own body compass. Everyone has one. And that body compass can be accessed through following your strategy and honoring yourself as your own personal authority. So being your own authority takes some time to experiment with. When you know how to make decisions that are right for you, now it doesn't matter what anybody else says. So long as you are engaging with things correctly, you can trust your body to guide you to be in the right place at the right time, with the right people, and the right work and career success or business success in your life. Solo, when it comes to working solo, always factor in that strategy and authority is the ultimate success secret and tool. The ultimate factor is that you've got to remember yours. You've got to know yours. So signposts of being on or off track, frustration, anger, bitterness, and disappointment are signposts that you've gone off track. That is not a fuel for basing any decisions on. It's a signpost that you've got to stop. So stop doing whatever it is that you're doing that's making you frustrated, angry, bitter, or disappointed. This includes believing your mind and the stories that your mind thinks are important in order for you to get what you think that you thought you wanted. And instead, come from the authentic place, waiting to be asked, generator. Informing before you take action, manifester. Waiting for recognition, which is mutual, and formal invitation when it comes to the big things in life, if you're projected. And for those who are reflected, waiting for life to initiate you, waiting for your knowing through your lunar cycle. Remember these things. These are very critical, important factors. And you can learn more about that in mybodygraph.com. So make sure that you've listened to the first step and your foundational analysis. And if you need further support, we have availability for you to get personal career design guidance from those who are licensed, certified, and qualified to be able to guide you personally. All right, that was career success work situations. Experiment with working solo, try it and see. And when it comes to this week, I want you to observe yourself in this process, whether you're generative, projected, manifested, or reflective in nature. Observing yourself and your process as you engage with this experiment, seeing how well it works for you to work solo. Next time, we're going to work. That's the end of working solo as a lesson. Next time, we're going to be working in partnership. Thanks for joining our Success Secrets 1 and Part 1, Working Solo. Next up, partnership. So in our experiential participant program, if you have signed up for the engagement with the material with a live person, you're looking at posting your questions in the provided form that you got or in the forum so that we can get back to you and help engage with you in the group dynamic that you signed up for. And again, we hope this information helps you work successfully. See you next time for partnership. Unlocking the work success secrets of your partnership design means that you're going to engage with looking at how we connect. Until next time, bye for now.